You all are asking for it, so here you go. What is the difference between a ladybird deed and a Florida land trust? Again, all information I give here is specific to the state of Florida. So a ladybird deed is strictly an estate planning tool. That's all it is. It allows you to name who you want to inherit your property upon your death, and it allows that person or those people to inherit your property automatically upon your death without the need for probate, and they get a step up in basis. By contrast, a Florida land trust will do all of those things I just mentioned in addition to giving you both privacy and liability protection during your life. So when we're talking about real estate, liability and asset protection is going to be so important because the risk of liability is higher than it is with most other types of assets. Your risk of liability is going to be highest with investment or non-homesteaded property, but you still have risk of liability with your homestead or your primary residence. So for real estate, I typically recommend going the trust route versus the ladybird deed route. However, if your goal is strictly estate planning, allowing your property to pass easily to your heirs without the need for probate, then a ladybird deed is a great tool. Hope this helps. Bye.
This is legit. It's never verified. When it comes to the concept of ladybird deeds, let me say this. It's sort of like a transfer and death account for real estate, right? That's essentially what it is. It allows you to establish like this beneficiary type relationship with your real estate so that God forbid something happens to you, the original deed holder, it automatically transfers to the beneficiary you select within that ladybird deed itself. But it is true that ladybird deeds are not available in every single state. In fact, there's only 5 states that allow for the ladybird deeds in their current context. Where land trusts come into play, though, is also from a legitimacy standpoint, this opportunity to create this shield from public view that you are the actual owner of the property, right? It's a privacy type of environment, but it also leverages a variety of other aspects of revocable trust. The whole concept of a land trust is essentially a type of revocable trust, but they're also only available in certain states. But it's a little bit different there because the context of the land trust is that it is specifically named within 8 statutes. Right, 8 separate states, right, have statutes that govern land trusts. Florida is actually the one that's the most unique in that not only does it give you privacy protections, but as this content creator talked about, it also, in Florida, the land trust gives you asset protections as well. That's the only state that asset protections exist.
In addition to giving you both privacy and liability protection during your life.
And in the context of revocable trusts, in general, typically there are no asset protections that exist regardless of the state. But the unique thing to note with regard to land trusts is while they are only specifically named in 8 state statutes or statutes of 8 different states, they're applicable, they're legal in every state because of common law and the applicability of the full faith and credit that exists within the United States from state to state. The different laws govern and are adhered to and acknowledged within other states. But what I will say is this, the concept of utilizing a trust in almost every circumstance is the avenue that I'm probably going to be the advocate for, right? There's very few instances where I wouldn't want to utilize a trust as opposed to a deed alternative because of all of the other things you can do with a trust. That private agreement gives us the ability to be pretty creative with regard to the goals and objectives that we have. Now, if you're interested in figuring out whether or not there's an opportunity for you to leverage a strategy like this, you want to be partnering with a knowledgeable professional in this particular category. Typically, you're going to want to talk with an estate and trusts attorney, or at the very least, a real estate attorney, someone who is really well versed with regard to the applicability of these types of strategies given your unique circumstances. Now, I have no idea whether or not we would be a fit to help you in that regard, but what I can say is if you click the link in the description below, you can go through a quick process where you could find out. And regardless of what you choose to do, I wish you well in your journey. Until next time, be well. Bye for now.